right, so I am here to teach you about Schoology. All right. How many of you sometimes you go home and you're like, oh no, I have homework, but I did not write in my agenda and I totally forget what I have to do? Raise your hand if that you have had that experience. I'm sure. How many of you go home and you're like, oh no, there's this worksheet I need and I forgot to bring that worksheet home. Therefore, I cannot do it. Yes, I know. How many of you sometimes to write stuff, did I say this in your agenda, like there's a test coming up, you never wrote it in your agenda, so you don't study for it? How many of you have been guilty of that? Oh, I'm sure there's more than 2 of you. So the whole purpose is with Schoology, this is going to eliminate some of those problems, right? So Schoology is going to make you a stronger student and teachers stronger teachers. So that way you all can be successful. All right, so what I'm going to do today is teach you about some of the features of Schoology. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is you're going to go to Schoology. All right, and you are going to, you're not going to sign up, you're actually going to log in. So if you look right here, okay, you want to select log in. Your login credentials are going to be your email. So for example, if I was an 8th grader, I would be 15D Turner at ftsk8.org, and your username for right now is going to be school at 732. Now, some of you have Mr. Williams for Health. Raise your hand if you have Mr. Williams for Health. He is currently using Schoology, correct? Yep. So I'm not sure if you already changed your passwords. Okay, so we're going to change our passwords. All right. So once we log in, let me just log. So once you log in, all right, the very first thing we have to do, for privacy reasons, or I should be up there, is we want you to change your password. So you're going to go over here to where that little, next to your name, you see like a little, an arrow. And in the drop-down menu, if you just go to Account Settings, and then right here, it says change your password. You're going to click on that, and you're going to use the same password you use for your Gmail account. So this way you don't forget it. Okay, so whatever you use for Gmail, use for Schoology as well.
Should I just not change my password?
Nope, you could change it.
Okay.
So you're going to put in your password once, you're going to confirm the password, and then you're going to submit. So go ahead and do that now. When you are done changing your password, just go back to home, the home page of Schoology, and I'm going to show you around. Raise your hand if you're good to go. All right, excellent. Gabby, you good to go there? Perfect. All right, so the first thing you're going to see on the right-hand side is upcoming. So basically what this is, anything that your teachers are pushing out through Schoology, it could be a discussion, a test, a quiz, an assignment, that will appear on the right-hand side under upcoming. So let's say, for example, you're going to take a test online about the amendments, and it's going to be through Schoology. You will see amendments test and the date for when the test is. All right. However, what you have to understand is things that are not pushed out through Schoology are not going to show under upcoming. So let's say, for example, you have to read something in the textbook, but nothing has to do with Schoology. That is not going to show up. All right, any questions so far? Okay. The next area I want to go over is the calendar. So if you look right there, there's a calendar. So why don't you click on the calendar? All right. If a teacher is pushing assignments, tests, quizzes, discussions out through Schoology, it will automatically show up on your calendar. All right, this is a really awesome feature because now you do not have an excuse. Oh, I didn't know there was a test. Well, you know what? If it's pushed out through Schoology, it's going to automatically appear on your calendar. So if you look at this calendar, I'm signed in as Anthony. Mr. Williams has a couple, like right here, test 2. He has a test. He has another assignment here, and he has another assignment here. So Anthony did not add these to his calendar. Rather, Mr. Williams did, and it went to Anthony's calendar because he's enrolled in that course. Now, if you wanted to, you could use Schoology as your agenda. 6th and 7th graders are doing this, but you guys don't have the Chromebooks all the time. so I'm not sure how useful this would be for you, but it is an option. So if you wanted to add things to your own agenda right here, to your own calendar, all you would have to do, you see that little hover over the date, and see there's a little plus button. So I'm going to hit plus. Say if I have a social studies test, I'm going to put social studies test. I could put like a study vocab, and then I have the date. I'm going to make it the 12th, and then I'm going to go to create, and then it's going to appear in my calendar. Okay? So if you want to try that out, take 30 seconds, add an event to your calendar. If you wanted to, you could pull up individual calendars for individual courses that you're enrolled in. Okay? All right, when you're done practicing adding event, just go back home. The other thing you'll see, like right next to your name, this is the notifications. All right? So any assignments that have been graded or tests that have been assigned, it'll appear here. Like, see how this has a 1 next to it? Like, you might have 3 notifications because maybe in science you have a test, in social studies you have a discussion, and in health you have some kind of quiz. So you'll see that, and this will appear. All right? Any questions so far? Okay. So the really good thing about Schoology is it connects to your Google Drive. So let's say you have to hand in a writing piece for your language arts teacher. You can just go through Schoology, click the writing piece, and submit it right through Schoology. So the thing that we have to do is right now we have to make that connection. We have to connect our Google Drive to Schoology. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to under Resources. Then you're going to go to Apps. And then you're going to select Google Drive. All right, you're going to hit Install. Then after install, mine is going to look different, I think, because I'm on a desktop, not a Chromebook. After install, you're going to do approve. And then actually, I think it looks the same. And then the last one is connect, correct? Connect. Now, if you have an issue, and then accept. So if you have an issue connecting, all right, talk to the person next to you. Like, try to troubleshoot, figure out what should you do. You could always refresh. All right. Now the way it works is it's not your drive where you can search for things. The most recent documents that you've worked on are going to appear first. All right. Any questions so far? All right. So let's go back home. So you're familiar with the calendar. You understand upcoming events, and we connected our drive. So if you go under courses, this is where all of your courses are going to be listed. If you see, ignore the number that has nothing to do with anything that has to do with Genesis. Just make sure that you have all the courses that you are enrolled in. If you're in a course that you shouldn't be, email me. If there's a course that you're not enrolled in that you should be, email me as well. Okay. So I want you to go to your social studies course. All right. In your social studies course, teachers are going to be using Schoology differently. Okay. So you may have some teachers who are going to be using it a ton. You might have some teachers who are going to be just touching it because it's very hard because you guys do not have Chromebooks all the time. So it's going to be hard for 8th grade teachers to use this all the time. All right. But the way that teachers organize it is also going to be different. You have some teachers who might have folders, but if you go to, do you have Mr. Williams, Anthony, for health? Yep. Oh, he doesn't have anything. Oh, that's phys ed. If you go to health right here, see, he just has a bunch of discussions and assignments, but they're not in a folder. So every teacher is different. Just like every teacher's website is different, every teacher's Schoology homepage is going to be different as well. All right, so I want you to click the arrow, and that will uncollapse the folder. And there's 3 things in here, 3 features of Schoology we're going to talk about. So this little icon right here, you see it? It's like a little bubble. That icon means it's a discussion. All right. How many of you have in your classes, you participated in Socratic seminars? where there's a big open-ended question, you have a conversation, and you debate about the topic. All right. So this is the same thing, except for it's like a silent Socratic seminar. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about first. So what I was telling the other classes is this. As a parent, I have 3 kids, right? So when my children go to the store, they better behave. Because if they don't, it's a reflection of me, right? Did you ever see those kids out there? They're like out of control and you're like, oh my God, those parents can't even keep like their kids, you know, controlled. Like you kind of look at the parents, right? So the way that, you know, and when my kids do misbehave, I always like take the ear, pull them by the ear really hard, hoping that their ear will actually come off if they're being that bad. So the way you behave on Schoology is a reflection of Freehold Township and your teachers and me, right? You have to conduct yourself in a respectful and responsible and a ready-to-use Schoology kind of way. So in order for you to fully understand this, we developed a code of conduct, things that you should and should not do on Schoology. And one thing I want to say, and I don't know if you guys are really aware of this, but every single thing you do on these devices, because these devices belong to Freehold Township schools, we can see. I can go in the admin console, I can type in your name, and I can see all of the words that you searched, the day that you searched them, the hour that you searched them. I can see all of the websites that you went to or tried to go to. And I have done this before. We have had incidences where Mrs. Breather calls me up. She's like, I need you to check out this student's Google account. Get on the admin console, print out the data, show it to the parents, and it's not a good scene. Because everything you do, you are leaving your digital footprint. And Mr. Krupp, you were saying before, if you press delete, or some of you know how to clear your cookies and your browsing data, it does not delete it permanently. The only way that is ever going to get deleted permanently is when you graduate from here and we delete your Gmail account. It is there forever. Everything you do on these devices. Even, well, you guys don't bring them home, but like the 6th and 7th graders, when they bring them home and they're home and they're searching at home, we see it. Because they're filtered through our filter. Okay? So you really have to keep that in mind. And I said to the other class, teachers are held to the same standards, right? We're not allowed to go on our computers and look up things and, do my shopping and buy stuff from Amazon because teachers have been called to the superintendent's office for stuff like this, right? We can't be going on Facebook when we're in school, right? It's not allowed. So we are held to the same standard as you. So just keep that in mind when you are on these devices. Because I am not sure that you were aware of this, okay? So what I want you to do now, so we're going to look at the Schoology Code of Conduct. So I want you to click on the Schoology Code of Conduct, all right? It says, there are certain do's and don'ts when posting on Schoology. Please read the following Code of Conduct. After reviewing it, type in your name at the bottom. This will be your electronic signature indicating you are aware on how to behave when posting on Schoology. So that's the first part of this task. It's a 2-part task. The second one is after signing the form, answer the following question. Why is it important to have a code of conduct? So I want you to click that little play button. So what I did is I embedded a Google form. Ignore where it says 7th grade. I have to switch it to 8th. All right. So you're going to read this whole thing. You scroll down over here. When you get to the bottom, when you're done reading, you're going to put your first and last name, and then you're going to hit submit. Now, when you're done with that, you have to answer the second part. You have to answer this question. So if you go down here, all right, this is where you would post your answer. So I would type it in, and I would hit post. And here's the deal with Schoology is you will not be able to see what other people are writing on a discussion until you post, which is really good because I know some kids are like, I'm going to wait till those 5 people post because they know what they're talking about, and then I'll just read their answers, and then I'll post my answer. You can't. Okay? What you will see is you'll see your peer's name, but what they wrote will be grayed out. Okay? So what I want you to do now, you're going to take about 3 to 4 minutes. go ahead, read the code of conduct, sign where it tells you to sign at the bottom of the form, and then hit submit, then go ahead and answer the question and hit post. Any questions on what to do? All right, go ahead. It's not a live feed, so you're not going to be able to it's not Facebook where something posts and automatically pops up. What you have to do is you have to refresh to see what other people are writing. So Anthony wrote something right here. All right, so if I want to see, anybody else, I would hit refresh, and up 2 more people appears, right? Now, what you can do, remember, like if you read the code of conduct, you can reply to, add on to what other people are posting. So you can hit reply, and then you could put something there, or you can actually just like what they wrote. All right? So I'm going to give you 1 more minute. And when you're done, what I want you to do is go ahead and read what other people wrote. And so far, I'm looking at what you wrote, and you're all following the code of conduct. I don't see, text talk. I don't see, tons of capital letters, exclamation points. So far, you're doing pretty well. So if you look up here, I'm on my desktop as Anthony. So what I did is I responded to another person's posting. All right. So this is really good to use with discussions, like if you're debating one of those Socratic seminar type of topics. And then it's like I said, you can have your own little silent discussion. All right. Even though you're not finished, for the sake of time, we're going to move on. All right. Any questions about discussions? And just a little FYI, at some point, we are going to let parents have access to your Schoology account so they can see everything that you're posting as well. Okay, they can't see what other people in your classes are posting, or maybe they can't see the names. I forget. I have to look into it. But they will be able to see what you are writing. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, so everybody go back home. Actually, I'm sorry. We should just stay in the course. Go back to the course. All right. In that folder, so the next thing we want to talk about are assignments. So you see that little icon right here? It's like a little piece of paper with a pencil. I want you to click on that assignment. So sometimes teachers may assign something to you through Schoology, and they will attach a Google Doc to that. All right, so what we're going to do right now is you're going to open up that Google Doc, and it will make a copy of that for you. Okay, so what I want you to do right now, I am going to actually do this from the dock camera because it's not going to look the same on a Chromebook. Okay, so I'm just going to show you this from a desktop because actually what I'm doing right now is I'm recording this lesson. So that anybody who's absent, I'm going to put it out. Actually, I'll put it on my website. So once again, you're going to click this. It looks different for me than it does for you. Okay? But when you click it, tell me what happened. Where did it go to? So when you clicked it, where did it go to on the Chromebook? It went to the downloads at the bottom, right? So when you're at the bottom, you have to open it up. And then when you open it up, what type of document is it actually?
Word.
It's a Word doc, right? And then when you're in that Word, what did you have to do? Yes? You have to convert it to a Google Doc. And what were the steps? How did you do that?
On
File. Save as Google Doc, right? And then when it becomes a Google Doc, best practice, what do you have to do with that Google Doc? Say it if you know it.
Put your name in the top.
Put your name in the top, okay? So you're all good. All right. So now we have the document, right? Open that document up. Did I tell you to close it? Open that document up, and there's a question on it. So what I want you to do right now, the question is, what are the consequences for posting inappropriate language on a Schoology discussion? Okay, so what I want you to do right now is I want you to complete that document, all right, and then after you answer that question, you can actually close that document out. So I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to answer that question. So you shouldn't be talking because this is a independent task, not a collaborative task. So this is a question you're going to answer. When you're done answering the question, you're going to just exit out of that tab. So now that you answered the question, okay, so you all answered this question right here. So what we have to do now is we have to submit it. All right? So if you look over here, what you're going to do, watch me first, then you can go ahead and do it, or if you want to do it as I'm doing it, that's fine too. I'm going to go to Submit Assignment. Okay. Where's my Google Drive? It's in my what?
Your resources.
Resources. What is it in?
Resources.
Yes, so I'm going to go to Resources. And then I'm going to go to where? Apps. And then my drive is going to show up, and it should appear as the first one. I'm just going to put this in. Can I put this in, Mr. Krupp? I don't know what it is. Is that you? Am I in your drive?
Yes.
Is that okay to put in?
Why not?
Okay. And then all you're going to do, you're going to put a little check in the box. You're not clicking on it. You're checking the box. Now listen, this is really important because if you don't submit it correctly, your teachers are not going to be able to view it. Okay? So I'm going to just kind of show you one more time.
It's 50%. If I can't do it, it's not done 50%.
So once again, I'm going to go to Submit Assignment. I'm going to go to Resources, Apps, and then I'm going to click on the doc that I need to submit. I'm going to click in the box, and I'm going to go to Import and then File. And it's going to import into Schoology for me. Okay, so go ahead and submit your assignment, and then I'm going to show you what the teacher will see. What is this? 8A what? 4? Is it 8A3? What's your course title, peeps? 5?
Yeah, 5.
All right, so if you have a question first, ask people around you. See if they know.
Mrs. Turner?
Ask people around you first. So if you look over here, so who's A? Is it Mr. Krupp or Mr. Clavin A? All right, so Mr. Clavin right now, this is really easy. He knows only 14 out of 20 people submitted it. Okay? And this tells us who it was who submitted. So all I have to do, if you look, what the teachers will do is they can view your assignment on here. All right? They can highlight stuff maybe that they want to, I don't know, make comments on. They could take little stick-its, Post-its, and stick it on there and make a comment. All right?
Mrs. Turner?
Go ahead.
Are we supposed to press the little check thing? And then
Wait. Did you ask all the people around you?
Yes.
Everybody. Go find. Nope. Figure it out. Go. I don't even care if you have to get up and go ask somebody else. Get up and go ask somebody else how to do it. Somebody go show her. Thank you. They can also, make little drawings, circle stuff. They could do strikeouts if something is not correct. And what you will see as a student, you're going to see all of that stuff on your document. And they can make comments here as well. And what you will get, I'm going to save these changes, and what you will get as the student is you're going to get a notification that that the teacher has.
It's saying copy item.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll be right there. Okay? All right, any questions so far?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And I did ask 3.
So far we covered discussions and we covered assignments and how to submit assignments. So the last thing we're going to do are tests and quizzes, right? You all, how many of you have taken an X Skills test? Okay. So it's kind of it's very similar. It's just like an online test, right? But the good thing is I remember when I was teaching, sometimes it would take me a couple days to get tests and quizzes back, especially when you have so many students. Well, with Schoology, it grades it for you. It grades it for the teacher, right? So you will get immediate feedback on your test or quiz, right? So what I want you to do is you're going to click on Schoology Assessments. Oops, hold on. You're going to click on, If you go back to your course, uncollapse the folder, click on that little icon right here, the little puzzle piece, that means it's a test or quiz. That's the icon for test or quiz. You're going to click on Schoology Assessment. Now, let me give you another little tip here, okay? Yes, Schoology does stink in the fact that it doesn't lock out the internet. So you could be taking a test or quiz and you can absolutely open up a tab and Google the answer, okay? However, remember what I said before? We can see everything you are doing. So if Mr. Crupper Clavin thinks that, you know, it's possible suspicious that they were seeking out answers, they can call me up, say, Mrs. Turner, can you please go into the admin console, check out what this student was doing during period 5, because I need to know if they were opening up other tabs to find answers to these questions. And if I find it, you're going to get a 0, right? So, yeah, we do know you can cheat, you know, but you also can get caught. And it has happened. And students have gotten 0s, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to, I guess, Anthony, you might have started. You should see where it says Start Quiz. So go ahead and take the quiz.
Does this count as an
No.
grade?
What do you think, silly goose? All right, so now that you are familiar, okay, so you know all about upcoming, tests, quizzes, discussions, assignments, now that you know everything, like I said, teachers are going to be using it in different ways. I can't imagine they're going to be using it as much as 6th and 7th grade teachers are because they have Chromebooks, all right? But this is something that they will probably use at some point, okay? So now that you're familiar with, does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments? Yes.
Can you make a document yourself?
What do you mean?
Like, can you make a discussion without having it started already, or does your